looking at the skill theme approach to developmentally appropriate physical education today, and we really want to deconstruct the wheel and examine how we can use it to inform our planning and thus good practice in physical education. So what is this movement wheel? There's quite a lot of work done on it, and it's quite prevalent in primary school physical education. And what it does is it really gives us the ingredients upon which to make fantastic recipes and meals for children with regard to their movement. We essentially take, if we see the wheel, we take three main aspects of movement, and we take locomotor movements, movements such as galloping and skipping and jumping, all those doing movements with the INGs, and we look at them and we lead up to those so that children feel competent as they execute those early skills. We also, to that, we couple non-manipulative, and those are your stability movements such as bending and twisting and curling, and together they make up the foundation from which manipulatives can be extended into plays such as rackets, long-handled, short-handled implements, balls for kicking, and also for throwing. And therefore we tend to arrive at our manipulative, such as dribbling, punting, kicking, collecting, once we have actually collated quite a degree of competency at basic locomotor skills and also your stability non-manipulative. What we want to do actually is we want our children, we want the pupils to be very comfortable with the vocabulary across the wheel, and this is certainly not exhaustive. We tend to teach, as we do in primary school education, if we're doing a primary lesson for the introduction, the main theme with an extension, and then the plenary. And what we try and aim to do in developmentally appropriate PE is start through concepts. We want children to examine movement and their awareness of space, space awareness, personal space, general space, and it's very good if we work through this up and down, backward, forward. We work at low, middle, high, and we can take one task and we can actually really pull it and explore different pathways through space prior to providing a manipulative, prior to leading up towards sport, which is what we do further on in Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4. Also we have effort. Effort is another concept, and it's important that children learn to control their bodies and they develop that kinesthetic awareness of how much force is needed for them with regard to stopping, starting, dodging, and also pressing for resistance. That's really, really an important concept. So we have slow, strong, fast, and again we can have activities that children can enjoy and explore as they lead up to modified games. We have relationships. It's really important that children or school pupils enjoy and learn about relationships with other people and with objects and indeed with themselves. So they start to understand relationships of their own body parts, if they're inside or outside of something, if they're twisting, if they're wide, if they're narrow. And again, we have a whole opportunity and a wealth of activities from which these can be explored and extrapolated. Essentially then, what we're aiming to do is use our conceptual background before we start to build up the skill themes. And this is really important for us, and this is what sets us apart from a lot of other physical education programs. Not only do we want to impress upon them the need to learn the skills, which is important for future development and lifelong physical activity, fitness, maintenance and attainment. Apart from that, we want them to understand the concepts so that they get that opportunity to really explore, and then for them to be able to choose and direct their choices thereafter. That would be why we have inclusion here, and this is a wonderful opportunity for us to differentiate. It's really, really important for us that children have competency across all the locomotor skills, and that's one of the parameters that we use as a guide for developmentally appropriate PE in the skill theme approach. It's also really important that it's designed so they get lots of opportunities to explore. We have a generic skill level proficiency assessment whereby we see if the children are at initial elementary mature form or pre-control, control, utilization and proficiency. And once we can understand that level of proficiency, is really, really helpful for us with regard to our design of lesson and our accommodation and differentiation thereafter. So what we do is we like to couple the skill themes with our level of proficiency, and once we can combine that, we can have informed developmentally appropriate lessons.